What is going on, peoples of the internet? It is I, the British man, Rambling Hawk, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Old Man Retro Geek Zen.
Hello, hello.
This episode is coming in very late. I'm not. We could throw out a number of reasons as to why, delayed schedules, just not finding the time. But realistically, we have no excuse. We were going to make a cyberpunk episode. That was one of Zen's really wanted to do, but unfortunately, I never got hooked with cyberpunk. I pretty much stayed away from the hype train, never got onto it, shut down so many conversations personally about it before it came out.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'm conflicted about whether to get it, because a lot of people when I'm talking to people about it, they're pretty much saying that it's kind of worth playing the story, but
I think it's worth waiting. That's what people are saying. It's worth waiting. If you really want to have the best experience you possibly can in that game, you probably should wait.
But I've only talked to you, Zen, about it, and my friend who's over in Britain, he's finished the game. He's gotten 2 endings at the moment.
Yeah, same.
But he hasn't played it anything else at the moment. He's playing a completely different game.
I really, in the end of the day, it took me a long time, but I actually do enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I've put probably 75 hours into it, and at this stage now, though, I think I'm just going to wait for DLC, which there's no doubt that there's going to be some free DLC coming up.
Well, we have a fair few games that we've definitely played, tried, finished, quit, so on and so forth.
Well, it's been a long year, right? And I think probably more people have games this year than the year before because of COVID
because
and
quarantine,
stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And it's funny that you have played Cloudpunk and Ghost Runner, because a whole lot of games, cyberpunk sort of themed games, started to come out of the woodwork, and they obviously knew they were going to beat cyberpunk, and they were probably riding on the hype a little bit.
Yeah, so I only played Ghost Runner for just a bit.
It looks stunning.
It is, and the movement and the gameplay in it is like really addictive. It's like really fast paced, but it's also difficult.
Yeah,
so you're not just like
hard.
this. But the game, of the two, the game I got a bit more hooked on was Cloudpunk. The graphics are just not there. It's more atmosphere and characters that get you the dialogue. It's funny. It's a bit deep. You sort of just like, oh, well, am I like stumbling onto something here?
It's really quirky. Like we've talked about this before. Like, I'm a real sucker for games that use the video card as much as they can and super realistic. And I like to make sure everything's in ultra mode or whatever. But with Cloudpunk, I have to admit, I watched someone do a playthrough on it on YouTube, and before I knew it, I'd watched an hour of it or something, and it was quite entertaining, like really cute, and you can tell the devs had fun with it.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's just the graphics, like even I'm getting a bit disconnected with them. I'm not like, I don't mind the blocky graphics when it's done sometimes, but for some reason when I'm playing this, I'm just like, it just really doesn't suit it.
Because there was meant to be another game that was cyberpunkish as well, but and block pixel graphics as well, but I don't think that one came out yet.
Oh, there's like quite a few, probably. Like Roblox has probably done it. You could probably find like a bunch of games that are in the cyberpunk genre of lots of things.
So I don't know. With this episode, I thought Hawk and I would look back at the year and talk about what games that we sort of bought, which ones that we got into, which ones that we didn't. I know this year was the first time ever that I've refunded a game on Steam. Yes. And that was Phasmophobia, because you hyped it up.
I love Phasmophobia. It's so good. Me and Joker, who has been in previous house before, as you may know, we played it heaps. We met a bunch of randoms. Some people we weren't too keen on, but some people we became friends with.
Yeah. What I did notice about the game was that it was very voice heavy. Like, you were sitting there calling out for a ghost to show itself over and over again.
I just enjoy the fact that you can also swear at it and it's actually responsive.
I could not. I don't know. So Hawk had been pretty much hassling me to buy the game for a good few
Yeah, that's
weeks.
mainly because you're like, I don't like scary games. I'm like, this is going to be hilarious.
Well, and actually, it wasn't scary. But
It's
then
not
again,
as
I wasn't by myself. I think if
it,
if I did a
it's
tutorial, I'd probably be more scared than.
no, you can be scared sometimes and not, because like I last time I played it was with Joker and his mate Slip, and like at one point I'm just like in the room and then I just something was behind me. I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh my god!
Well, people do find it scary. Like a lot of, I mean, obviously, I did watch a fair few reviews of it, and some people just absolutely like you. They love the game
Yeah.
to death. They love it. So it's a phenomenon, isn't it? Like it just came from nowhere, and it didn't seem to get too many big reviews from the big YouTubers, but
Yeah,
from
but
all the alternative kind of YouTubers, they seem to absolutely love it.
yeah, but that's because it's not like a AAA game. That's
Hmm.
because a lot of it, like when I started first playing it, I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. I'm probably going to get bored of it really quickly. I'm like, I really don't want to though. And thing is, I'm still not. Like, if someone goes, hey, want to play Faz, I'll be like, fuck yes,
Just
I do
jump on.
want to play Faz.
Mm.
So I just find it entertaining for some reason, because it's not like because it'll just throw like so many things here. It's like, no, it's fairly same-ish each time, but it's just generally it's the people you play with as well. If you're
Yeah,
playing it
I get that.
solo, I think if I played it just solo, I would get really bored of it, or I'd
Yeah.
probably quit halfway through. But it's just the people we play with.
I have to admit, like, as much as I didn't like it, what I do like about it a lot is that whole underground sort of feeling of the game. That it's not AAA, that it's not polished, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
the VR is definitely not polished.
Oh, we need to talk about VR too.
Oh no, I played it VR and the thermometer looked like it was so far away. I'm just like, I was trying to get so close to it to read it, and it's like, oh
Actually,
my god.
so you bought a VR headset probably about a month or two ago now. Do you find that you're using it less and less out of curiosity?
I have.
Like, do you
Because
think it's one of those things where you buy it because, I mean, why not, right? It's a good piece of hardware, and you know it's only going to get better, blah blah blah. But like,
I bought it as a treat for myself because for my tax return, I was like, yes, I feel like I want to treat myself, and I'm like, hey, I've seen a lot of VR stuff. I think it's time to get into VR. Like, it looks like there's some really good games, and honestly, I got really into it, playing it quite a bit. I got more mainly into blades and sorcery because I like the sword play.
yeah.
But yeah, nowadays it's just like I since playing Destiny, it's just like I don't really want a VR at the moment.
But that's the thing. It's not a replacement for your current games. It's a different. It's like a sidestep, right? It's like, it's not like buying a new TV or a new monitor. It's a different thing altogether.
See, if I would like use it heavily if it was like space sim or driving sims, because like
Yeah, yeah. I know driving guys who
if you
use
built a
it. Yeah,
full cockpit, like
yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
use screens. I'd just use the VR
Steering wheel and all that.
because
Yeah.
I get the full head rotation and everything like that, and I think it'd be like a lot more clearance as well.
Well, race car drivers do that. They sink in like the hours that we sink into, Destiny at the moment, Destiny 2 at the moment. They would just hop on their rig and drive.
I know Charles Leclerc does that because he has a Twitch stream where he's basically just been doing that. I think he's mostly been playing iRacing though.
Well, one thing, talking about Destiny 2, like we as a group have started playing that again this season
Beyond Light, yeah,
with Beyond Light, and we hadn't played it for
months.
maybe a year. Like we missed the entire last season.
Season of Arrival, I'm pretty sure it's called.
And
in fact, we came in at the very last couple, like a week or two before that.
Yeah,
Because you and I think maybe Jace jumped on, and we were pretty much just like, hey, let's just jump in, see what's the go is. And
well, it was the first time that I met Joker in real life at a car meet, and he said that he was thinking about jumping back into Destiny 2, and it wasn't that attractive to me, but
He'd been saying that for a while though.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's what's interesting is, right, like, you know, we'd sort of hop on Discord every afternoon, you know, after you guys would finish work, we'd hop on and play. And as soon as there was no game to play, we sort of didn't take too long to find a game that we could play together, and that was Fallout 76.
Yeah,
which,
you, me, and Jace did that, yeah.
Yeah, and it was really interesting because I'm a huge Fallout nerd, and I watched too many reviews on how bad that game was.
I was day one. I already knew.
Yeah, yeah, and I remember trying to tell you about it, like, hey, I really want to give this a go because the new DLC was out where they were introducing NPCs into the world.
And I was being negative about it.
Yeah, but then like we actually did it, and I mean, we had a bit of fun in there. Like, you were definitely the first to bail out of you, Jason, and I.
Yeah,
Joker came in for a couple of games, but nothing.
Yeah, I
serious.
tried to make that new build, my gunslinger build, because I'm like, that sounds really cool, and I had to look down to a T, like. But I don't know what it was. I just didn't find it as entertaining anymore because it was getting to that part now where it was just like you just have to grind to get this particular armor, and I was just like, nah. Not for me.
I mean, it's got a proper end game though. That's what I do. And you know, one thing that I really like about Fallout is the building and stuff. You know, like I do like that you can be creative and build something that breaks the rules. You know, it's not just like, oh, here's a house and then you just plonk it down and then that's it. Like I liked it that you could tinker.
Yeah, I definitely got on with that. With my final build on my main character, I built that large house and I built a shed with everything in it.
Yeah, and it's close to what we want, right? Like I could visit your house and we could hang out there. We could even build it together and like decorate it together and shit, it's closer to what I'm looking for in an end game, sort of, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, that's why kind of at the moment I'd like to go and play like some kind of survival game.
Yeah,
like
I know you mentioned that.
Like the forest maybe or something, just something like that.
I'd love for us to play Monster Hunter because it's just I put so many hours into that game and I love it so much. And I know you and Jace haven't played it yet.
I have played it. I played it on PlayStation. I played it on PlayStation 4 and I played it on PC. Yeah. I got massively disconnected with my character because I made him like a classic 18th century British hunter, and it was like, oh my god, that almost looks like Clayton, not from the Tarzan, but it's like that's what I'd like name him almost. Well, but then when he started speaking, I was just like, oh, like can't I have like a British voice, like a rough British voice?
Well, it's very anime manga kind of inspired, right? It's got many shades of Japanese culture in it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like the fact that you had to use a cat. And just was like, I don't want a cat. Like, give me a dog.
You would have hated that. Yeah, I don't know why there's no dogs.
That's why. If anything, I made him into like the only I only like a couple type of cats, and because they're not technically cats either. I tried to make him into Happy from Fairy Tail. Just like I'll make him blue like Happy.
Well, look, I think Monster Hunter would be cool, but I think Fallout 76 was the surprise for me this year. Like I'm not playing it anymore. But when I was super into it. I think just before we played Fallout, though, someone, I don't know if it was you or Jace, but someone put a link up on Discord to Anthem being on sale for $4.
Yes, I bought it for around about that
or $15 in the end. I think I bought it for.
Oh, you guys bought it for around about 15. I bought it for around about 5 because I went to EBs and just went, hey, can you match this price? And they went, yep. And I just went home. So you were the one that was like, this is going to be really good. I was on the complete opposite end going, this is going to be good for $4.
For $4.
You got it for 15 though, not 4.
Yeah, true.
I was on the other end going, this is going to be shit. Funny thing is, at the end of it, we were the complete opposite. I'm like, actually, that was an all right game. I wouldn't mind that. And you were just like, that was shit.
but I probably put the most hours in because I just can't help it. When you have a game like Monster Hunter and Anthem where there's like 10 slots on a specific skill and the little slots light up as you go along. I'm a min-maxer, so I want every slot to be lit up. So that got me, like, as much as I hated the storyline, the min-maxing got to me. That RNG when you're just like,
My build was coming
Min-maxing?
together because
Mm.
I had seen a build on YouTube and I actually got the majority of it because
Mm.
it was just like it was basically this build where you were just comboing for days, and I'm just like, yep.
Yeah.
It got to the point where even me, I think me and Jace were the ones that sort of were catching onto it a lot, like how it sort of worked a lot quicker though. Because
Mm.
while we are in the missions, me and him were like, "Hey, have you got this? No, I haven't got this. Have you got this? I've got this over here." And you guys are like, "What are you guys doing? We're just playing the mission." And we're like, "This is what you got to do to get points and everything." And you're like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah, I didn't understand the mechanics so much. I just got into the builds. But I think that's the thing with me. It's like I like games where I can min max a character and build. And I'm still a bit, even in the raids in Destiny, I'm still a bit clueless half the time. I'm pretty
That's
bad with mechanics and shit in general.
Well, that's why I said if they're gonna if when they relaunch the game, if they go look, if you guys have got it, here's the updated thing, and I think they should do that for especially because like the thing was a massive lie.
Well,
Um,
wait. Which one? Oh, you're talking about Anthem?
Anthem, yeah.
Oh, fuck it. It's not going to happen,
If
man.
they relaunch it and it's
Yeah,
like yeah, but I know they probably won't. But like you said,
yeah.
that's why I'm saying if they do it, regardless of the small chance, I'd be open to going back onto it. But if they're like $50 if you want to play it, no, thank you.
Well, I think they're working on remastering Mass Effect, right? So I think that's
The
probably the
Mass
only
Effect
thing.
trilogy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, BioWare have destroyed their, just like fucking CD Projekt Red, but they've destroyed their reputation. So I
Yeah,
think
they destroyed it with a number of games though. They destroyed it with
what was that? Mass
Mass
Effect,
Effect 3,
Mass Effect Andromeda.
and yeah, it started with 3, then it was
Mm,
Andromeda, and now it's with especially Anthem
Anthem. Yeah.
because throughout their development they kept saying the BioWare magic, it'll come together with the BioWare magic, everything like
Mm,
that,
mm.
to the point where it came to the end product and they just had absolutely nothing.
Well, Mass Effect Andromeda was a game that I watched all the reviews just for the lols, right? Like it was so funny to watch, the memes for like my face is tired and all of that stuff and all the NPCs, how fucked they look and all the bugs and stuff. But then I think you actually convinced me to give it a go because obviously they patched it up and they fixed it a lot. And at that stage, there were a shit ton of mods for it as well.
I
So,
I played it when it came out. I pretty much didn't get any of the
mm.
bugs or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally didn't see all the issues that people were like flailing on about. I think it was just people being whiny.
I think it was the eyelids, the eyes of the characters were really bad when it first came out. Like
Oh
they,
yeah, no, looking back when I got to my character, his cheekbones like they were like gigantic and everything, and I'm just like, wow, that is one really ugly character. But at the end of it, I wasn't like this is my favorite Mass Effect game or anything like that.
no.
That was still Mass Effect 2.
Yeah,
I
that's
looked at
apparently the best. Yeah.
I looked at it because when I went back to like seeing videos about Mass Effect 1, lots of books and everything like that, I was like, hey, this could be like the stepping stone as well as like the Mass Effect 1 to being like something better and everything like that. We've still got a lot of story, we've just gotten into this system and everything like that.
Mm.
I personally enjoyed the game.
Well, I
And
did too. That's what I'm saying. Like
yeah,
I got into it, and I think um, that's what Cyberpunk's missing is that like if you spend the time to make a good character that you like the look of, what's nice is when you can see that character in the game. So in Mass Effect, there's a lot of cutscenes where my character's in it, whereas in Cyberpunk, there's none. Like you spend all that time creating a character and you never see your character ever again. So in
oh yeah,
cutscenes and stuff.
my
So
armor looked immaculate. It was amazing.
yeah, no, I thought it wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I actually finished it, and that's always a sign of a good, you know, money well spent for me if I actually finish a game.
Yeah.
So maybe let's talk about some games that I know you buy a lot of games. Like how many games do you have on Steam alone?
Let's see right now. Looks like I have something in my inventory as well.
I think you're up to like 300 games or 400.
346.
346 games. Like so you tend to try a lot of things. I know I've tried a couple of things like Subnautica. I tried and play it for 5-10 minutes and then for me, the games that I tried this year that I kind of waited for a sale was A Plague Tale, and I just couldn't play it because I'm not very fond of children. And
Well, the majority of my games I get are on sale that I've just gone, I really would like to try that. That looks good.
did you play Vampire?
I did.
The vampire. Did
Yeah,
you like it? Because I finished that game.
I haven't finished it, but I did like it.
I thought it was brilliant.
Unfortunately, like a lot of games, I always go, oh, I really like this. I'll come back to it, and then I'm playing another game as well. So I'm like, I'll find time eventually.
Well, another game I bought was Rage 2 on sale, and I just couldn't do it. I loved Mad Max, so I thought because it was a collab with Avalanche Studios, I thought it was going to be a lot more Mad Max, but it was just super cheesy.
The Mad Max game I really did enjoy up to the point where I just got super bored of it because it was just doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, but I loved it. I did the completionist thing with Mad Max and actually.
Well, I was thinking
every single part of the map and finished everything. But
oh yeah, I went to every single part of the map. I was just literally doing all the side stuff instead of like the actual main missions. Because I got to the point where like every singular like castle and everything like that was like fully upgraded before I properly started the story.
Yeah, it was super cool, man. Like it had good sort of Arkham Knight style combat, and had good driving, good car stuff.
Yeah, which actually did use, which was like the cars were actually usable in the desert. Like if you brought them out from the game to real life, they would actually work in the desert.
And you could modify them too. Like that's another thing Cyberpunk you can't do is modify your vehicles, which is like
the modification was awesome.
That's super cool. Assassins. I know you're a huge Assassins fan.
No, I haven't been a huge Assassins fan for ages.
Yeah, you and Jace both.
I fell off the Assassins bandwagon, like the fan, like to be like super hyped up for a game. Probably just after Unity. Like I thought
that the pirate one.
No, that was Black Flag. Unity's the French Revolution one. I think Unity was an underrated game. I thought Black Flag was one of the overrated games. Which
I couldn't get into Black Flag.
Oh, I thought Rogue was a better version of Black Flag. You're going from, you're not an assassin, you're a Templar, and there's a lot more balance for missions on the sea and on the land. Because when it came to Black Flag, it always seemed to be follow or eavesdrop someone, run at, chase them, then get on your ship because they've gotten to their ship because it's too late. Then just chase them and then fight on your ship. And I just got really bored of it. I'm like, yes, I understand that the ship thing's really cool and everything, and I like it, but this feels more like a pirate game.
I thought Origins was fantastic.
Origins was great. I didn't like it originally on PlayStation 4. Like, I just got through it and then I was like, awesome, I got this done. I'm not playing it again. But one day I'm just like, I don't know why, I just kind of really want to play it. Like, I'm just really in this Egypt vibe and everything.
Yeah, that's what it was for me. The Egypt was a huge hook for me.
I played it a bit differently that time, though. Like, as I said to you, as I mentioned to you and Jace, and obviously, I pretty much I just did the story missions up to the point where you get the hidden blaze, like when you assassinate that dude in the bathhouse. Once I did that, I pretty much just wiped my hands of the story, when I'm going to do everything else, like everything else.
That's when you know you're into it. You know?
I'm like, I'm curious, because my biggest curiosity was, can you get to the cap or over the cap by doing everything but the story? And not only did I get to the cap, I got 4 levels above the cap. So by the time I finished it and did all side
story,
I got to level 44, and then I just got back. And to be honest, the story felt so much better after. Like, it had a better pace. You could get to places a lot quicker because you fast travel points.
You probably knew the whole world by then too.
And because you'd gone around the world, you felt like a lot better with the character, because he's supposed to be, so well known in this world. He's supposed to know the world so well as well. So you're just like, awesome. The only disconnect I had slightly was because I had that really like alien looking shiny armor. No one seemed to comment on that. Like, your armor's like literally glowing. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
Well, I think one thing that I really appreciated about Assassins was just in the little nooks and crannies, it just looked so much like what you would find in nature. Like, just seeing the rocks and the sand and the rubbish and the little trinkets on the ground and everything. It just attention to detail probably didn't get enough credit. I'm used to seeing, like, I played a game called Greedfall this year as well, and they literally cookie cutted buildings over and over again because they must have run out of budget or something. And a lot of games do that, where you go to one corner of the map and if you really look at something down at your feet, it's kind of hasn't had any love put into it, you know? Whereas Assassins, I felt like there's just so much randomness, which is great. Like, nothing looked cookie cutter. Nothing looked template driven. So I was quite impressed with the world.
Well, it was interesting because obviously we have a mutual love for, we equally probably love Assassin's Creed Origins, you know.
Origins is great, yeah.
But then when it came to Odyssey, again, we're the equal of just not liking it all. I played it,
couldn't do it,
and I really put I really put effort into it. I just couldn't get into it.
Me neither.
It's weird because I understand that it's not entirely based historically, and it's obvious because it's very cartoonish in some aspects, but I always sort of enjoyed that it generally likes to base itself well enough in historic. I was completely disconnected, like completely pulled me out the immersion in Odyssey.
I thought it was too cute, like the acting. You know, Origins started off more violent and straight into it, whereas I found Odyssey, the actual lore and the main campaign, the characters that you meet so early on, it was just all a little bit cheesy.
Oh, well, after I played it and everything, I watched a couple of comparison cutscenes, and I noticed, like, when the female is the villain, like the acting and the timing and everything like that seems so off, so bland and everything. And then when I look at when the male was it was done so much better.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, wait, hold on a second. Like, I mean, is in canon wise, is the main villain supposed to be the dude and the chick's supposed to be the thing? And then I looked it up and it's like, yes, that is the case. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense historically. I mean, like, it was it's pretty messed up, like, in terms of like gender equality back then. Like, Athens had women had absolutely zero rights. They were not considered humans.
Yeah.
Whereas in Sparta, they were they could own land, and they could have a sort of title, but they would not receive any military training or anything like that. And I got completely, and also the whole factions thing, like there was no real incentive to doing it, and there was also no incentive to just sticking with one faction.
I didn't even get that far, man. I didn't even get to board the boat, so I just stopped.
Basically, there's two factions: Athens, Sparta, warring. Athens or Sparta can own a certain area, and you'll destabilize their power. And then you can either choose to fight with Athens, you can either choose to fight with the defending faction, which let's say is Athens, or you can choose to fight for the attacking. Now, realistically, you should always go for the invading. The defending doesn't offer you as much. Now, you'll get gear and XP from it. Now, my problem with it was you could basically just stay in a region and just keep destabilizing it and then just switching sides over and over and over again. I'm just like,
right.
Yeah, I get that the whole, like, you're a mercenary and people don't know your name, but you have a reputation. And I know back then, if you kept switching sides, I'm pretty sure people at some point someone would be like, let's impale this motherfucker.
What about the Valhalla? Like, I know you and Jace, or Jace is playing it a lot.
Yeah, so I haven't played like super much into Valhalla. I got to as of this episode, because I don't know if I'll play any like in the future before this episode comes out. I just took out one of the dudes, one of the main, like, one of the villains' fortresses. What's his name? Kjortvig. That's his name. Kjortvig's. I got the hidden blade. I'm enjoying it. I like the combat. I had to switch the dodge from alt to shift because it was becoming really annoying.
I heard that the controls are a little bit different this time around.
Yeah, they're a little bit different, definitely. That's why I said I had to switch a couple of buttons around. I enjoy the fact that it comes in with the difficulty. It says, so you've got difficulty with exploration, with combat and with stealth. So you could make it super easy to explore, super hard in the combat, but like super easy with the stealth. So I chose Pathfinder, so that means you pretty like there's no like markings on the map, very little hub. You just go out and explore. I love that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I just simply went with a standard with the stealth and the combat, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, I really thought after Odyssey that I would not at all be interested in Valhalla because it just looked like another reskin. But after seeing some of the gameplay, it doesn't really matter if it's stylish if you actually like the look of it. I mean, I enjoy the way it looks, and the combat looks pretty nasty, man. Some of it like stepping on people's faces and shit when they're down. Like it's pretty hardcore.
Well, it is animation heavy, the combat.
I like it. I like the look of it actually, but maybe I'll wait for a really heavy sale. But whether I put serious hours into it or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, if you got like coins, you can pretty much just wait for a sale and then get an additional 20% off with a coupon with those coins.
It always spins me out when a game is on sale, how much cheaper it is from when it first came out. Like it spins me out. Like I picked up Metro Exodus, and because that was on the other store that we don't talk about, the Epic store. And we tried to play Control as well. So Control.
Oh, Control! I love that. That game was really good.
Damn, that's one game that I was so psyched to play, and then when I got it, I wasn't as into it as I thought I was going to be, which is sad because stylistically, I thought it was going to be perfect.
I really enjoyed that game. I got into it really hard.
Super stylish.
I just enjoyed that. Funny enough, the control of it, the hovering, the flotation, so everything like that. It was just really cool.
Yeah. No, I definitely enjoyed it enough to not want to refund it or anything, but I haven't finished it, obviously. Then Metro just didn't do it for me because it was a little bit cheesy, and I thought the graphics were going to be way better. When I refunded that, I got a Death Stranding, which graphically I like, but yeah, it's not the kind of game you play to kill shit in. That's for sure.
No, it was someone pointed out it was like So someone said like something like Kojima wanted to make a movie, but they told him he had to make a game instead.
You're 100% right. Like it is. Like I think there's a time and a place for that, but most of the time when I do play, I just want to kill shit. So yeah, like I haven't refunded it, but
far too into Destiny at this point.
Well, whether I finish it or Destiny is so easy. You just log in, hook up with your mates, and like kill shit. And for me, the last game that I bought was Cyberpunk, which I actually did finish and enjoy. So nowhere near as many games as I'm sure that you've bought this year, but it's still been a year of gaming. Like I didn't game so much in the first half of the year, but definitely have towards the second half.
I think I've only got like a dozen games or so. Like, because I think I pretty much just stuck with a few games and everything, and that's what like took up most of my time.
Well, I'm surprised that you are still playing Destiny 2, because I kind of called it that you're the kind of guy that likes to play lots of different games, and I thought that you would be the first to bail out of Destiny 2. But
I'm pretty hooked on it. I'm pretty hooked.
It's pretty awesome. We did try to. You and I tried to go back into Warframe and the Division 1, I think, very briefly.
Not Division 1. I played Division 1 with Joker like so many months ago, like way before. Because I'm always up for playing Division 1 because I actually really enjoyed it. The only reason I stopped playing that game was because everyone else did.
Yeah. Division 2 as well.
If I were to play Division 2, I'd have to start all over again because like my shit's like fucked at this point. But yes, we did try and go back onto Warframe, and it just we played a couple of sessions, tried to like match and everything, tried to play a few things, and it just got to the point where we were just like,
It does feel like they need a. Like I can understand that Destiny is trying to do something really big at the moment, and they're trying to change, whereas Warframe just never will. Like they'll just keep adding more shit into there. So Yeah, I don't know. And nothing changes. Like I did some story mission things and I'm like, oh man, I remember this is what Warframe is like. And I just didn't like it. Couldn't get
Yeah.
into it. It was just too confusing. You had to go and find something somewhere. And then it was really well hidden. And I was like, oh, I have to go to YouTube. Which is different with Destiny. Like, yeah, you got to go find penguins or whatever. But like,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
I'm on
why it's
that.
different. It's just different. I don't know why it's different.
Yeah, I couldn't say. I played it. I played a couple missions, and I was just like, yeah, okay, I don't want to play this anymore.
Well, do you have any predictions for next year? I mean, next year being only 2 days away.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, obviously the pandemic's not. Everyone's like, oh, fucking can't wait for 2020 to be over. What's the difference? Like 2021 is going to be the same.
Well, there's a one at the end.
Yeah, I know, but people are kind of like so over this year they just want it to fuck off. But it's like nothing's going to change automatically in a couple of
No,
days
not
from now.
necessarily automatically, but we're hoping things die down. So yeah, I'm hoping things die down, and that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, hoping to do. I know that when the Olympics starts next year, because it obviously was supposed to be this year, they're still going to call it the 2020 Olympics, and apparently Goku's supposed to be the spokesman. I think that's
Wait, they're going to
hilarious.
call it the 2020 Olympics?
Olympics, yeah. Well, think about like the marketing thing from
Mm.
that. It was all like branded and everything like that
Wait,
beforehand.
was meant to
It,
be Japan, wasn't it?
yeah, that's why Goku's the spokesman, or supposed to be
Oh,
the spokesman.
oh, it's still happening.
Yeah,
Nah, see that could still get cancelled as well,
no,
unless it's
they might cancel it again, but because obviously you've got the 20 Japan doing the 2020 Olympics. I think if it gets delayed again, they might decide they might cancel it,
or
and then
just
just
do
say
it all online. Like, well, it is anyway. I mean, it's, fuck.
that's what a lot of sporting events are doing.
Yeah,
And then obviously we found out what like many weeks ago that in the 2024 France Olympics they're going to be debuting skating, surfing, breakdancing, and rock climbing. And my reaction
yeah.
to it was skating, surfing.
Mm-hmm.
Completely agree. Totally get that. Those are
Mm-hmm.
skill based.
Mm-hmm.
Rock climbing, I'd be okay with it if it was free climbing because from the videos I saw, I didn't know how much of it was them climbing and how much of it was just the guy on the rope trying to keep up and then the people just using the inertia from that to make it easier for themselves. But breakdancing, no.
Well, it
It's a
takes a lot of skill, but it's not a sport.
no, it's a performance art. So like all the performance is completely subjective. So a judge could literally go, "That was awesome," but another judge could go, "No, it wasn't. It was like the shittest thing ever. It was like super cheesy." It's like, what are you talking about? How is it cheesy? I've never seen something like that before. But
Well,
you know,
it's sort of similar to gymnastics in that they have a dance routine and then they have certain technical things. Same with surfing, man. If you want to judge surfing, like it used to be about the guys who could do the most style points were a really big thing in the past, but now surfers even have to do big airs and 180s and
yeah, but
it's
with the
getting technical. So now
yeah,
there's
but
a lot of technical points. Like BMX is the same, right? So it's like you could do big styly moves before and get big points, but now if you do a triple front flip or something, you're going to get that guaranteed, eights
yeah,
and
yeah.
nines.
So I think what they'll do there is they'll take a lot of cues from the X Games, which is where
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
skating,
mm-hmm,
BMXing, and that
mm-hmm,
has been.
mm-hmm.
Where it's like if you're just going to do these standard sort of tricks, you'll be allocated X amount of points. But if you do these tricks,
Yeah,
these outlandish, a bit more risk-taking tricks,
yeah.
you get the X, Y amount of points instead.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. Like I think it's just a way for them to try to modernize the Olympics and get younger viewership in general. I think that's all it is. Like I think it's designed to have people talk about it. Oh, we're gonna bring breakdancing into the Olympics, and like for a breakdancer to win gold for their country, even they couldn't take it that seriously. I don't think.
Oh, well, when I saw the interview, there were obviously some of them were saying some of them are saying like, oh, it's awesome that breakdancing's being taken as a serious sport, and it's just like,
Were they?
yeah, and I just sat there, it's like, it's not a sport though. It's like,
It's so not.
And then
Yeah.
someone was like, oh, so what are we gonna do? Bring in next singing into the Olympics? And it's just like,
but why wouldn't they just bring dance in? Like, you know, that TV show, So You Think You Can Dance. Like, what I liked about it was, when they first open it up, it's like you get a break dancer, you get a ballet dancer, you get a jazz ballet dancer, and you get all these different classical dancers, and they force these people within hours to learn a routine on a genre of dance that they've never done before. And that's what I do like about that show in general, is like, you could be an awesome break dancer, but you might be shit at ballet. But I understand that there's a lot more to dance than just one style, you know? So why would it be just breakdancing and not other forms of dancing? That's just
yeah,
weird.
but again, to me, it's just, it's one of those, it's a subjective thing, because when it comes to singing, or, you know,
Yeah,
cooking,
why isn't singing in the Olympics?
Cooking, painting, acting, and everything like that, someone can sit there, as I was saying before, someone could sit there and say, that was really great, I like that. But someone could say, I don't like this sort of style personally, so I'm going to deduct you points. I've always hated when judges in those sort of shows do that, where they go, I don't like this sort of style personally, so I'm going to give you minus points. It's just like, dude, you can't, like, just preface that. You're supposed to be impartial here.
It's all politics, man. I mean, who is on this board? Like, every single country has someone on this board, and they get to decide and vote in new sports, and maybe delete old sports as well. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty sure once upon a time there was only X amount of sports in the Olympics, and it just keeps growing.
Yeah, well, if you brought on acting, and you brought on somebody who's like quite bland and monotone and everything like that, you know, somebody could say this was revolutionary. It's a different way of taking this role into something a bit, you know, more simplified and everything. But somebody else would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
What about UFC?
He basically just didn't try.
Mixed martial arts should be in the Olympics.
They have martial arts in the Olympics.
They have martial arts, but not mixed martial arts. See, that's the thing. Like, I think
they're
just opening it up. You know,
I think you're on boxing.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I think you're onto something here. I think, like, in the future, like when we're long dead, I think the Olympics will be like fucking cooking and fucking everything.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I might have said this on like previous podcast episodes, but anytime a show has judges, to me, it's not a cooking show, because, well, for a start, they always they tell them what they should do, but like, to me, I prefer watching cooking things where they take it, like, they try something new, or they just do something entirely wacky, something like that. Like, I really like how Sorted Food did a relay cooking thing, where they had X amount of minutes to prepare something,
pass it on to somebody else. Yeah,
but they'd have 4 of the members who would be deafened, and they would be turned blinded around so they couldn't see.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and they'd be given.
I'm aware of that. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Also, you've seen some of the videos.
I've seen that in multiple competitions. That concept. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy that, because I'm like, you don't know what's going to come out at the end, and it's really cool to see like the actual challenge towards it.
Yeah.
But to me, I just don't like the whole. Like, I enjoyed looking at their food and like what they can do, but I just don't enjoy the fact that a lot of it is primarily about the drama.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's all types of cooking, you know, like, definitely. I haven't watched much cooking stuff for a long time now, but there was a while there where I got sucked into MasterChef just like everybody else did. Maybe the first 2 or 3 years of that show, but then I don't know how many years they've done it, but it's like, fuck, I definitely haven't watched the last few years.
Yeah.
So, you know, once you've seen it enough, like, I don't know. I think it got to a point where it was just so overhyped that these fine dining restaurants all shut down in the end anyway, because they couldn't sustain it. You know?
Yeah, coming back from what we were saying. So, yeah, I'm hoping that the 2021 has the Olympics, because I actually do enjoy watching the Olympics. I hope that they don't continue with this trend of trying to bring in what is realistically subjective performance art and calling them sports.
Well, what about esports? We talked about that on the podcast before. I think esports could be an Olympic sport, right?
esports could be an Olympic sports, but the reason why I'd sort of be against it is because esports is talking about a whole sport in general. Because like if you say let's bring in esports, okay, which esports though? Like, would you bring in the FPS esports or the MOBA esports? You know, and if you were to bring in MOBA esports, which would it be? Would it be Dota, League, Smite?
Well, it would be multiple. It's just like how, you know, there's shot put and long jump and javelin and fucking high jump, and like there's like multiple within the one field, right, of sport. So it's like,
so
like you said, boxing and karate and judo, and so yeah, you would have to have FPS and, you know, tabletop and or whatever, all these different types of
that's what I'm
games,
saying. If you were to bring in that genre and you were to say let's bring in FPS, MOBA,
driving,
and let's say battle royale, these are like the three most popular, the most recognizable. I'd probably guarantee that it'd be it'd be League of Legends, since it's probably or Dota 2. It'd definitely be Fortnite, like that's 100%, and it would probably be Call of Duty. But like, what if it's not? Like they instead went, no, let's bring in Battlefield instead for the FPS. It's, you know, a lot more team based. You got more objectives and the matches last a bit longer. Or instead for FPS they went CS:GO.
To me, it just has to be physical. That's the thing about esports. Like for me, the Olympics, as a kid and everything, watching it, it's like it's a physical thing. It's like seeing that's why the running and stuff is so big. You know, it's like and swimming and stuff, just to see how human beings can somehow go faster. Every time there's an Olympics, someone breaks a record, and that is what overall is mind-blowing to me. It's like,
I agree.
Holy fuck, we're still running faster. Like, it's the human being. Like, you know, she could be wearing some kind of special spacesuit or whatever. It doesn't matter. She's still fucking running fast. So that is that's what's mind blowing to me. It's like,
I agree. I would prefer if the Olympics just contained sports or
physical,
and particularly events that were purely physical, that had objective results, not subjective results. Something that someone couldn't say, well, no, I think he should have got the win because he was better.
I see. I like that. So I like the idea of stripping it back to everything that is, like you just said, like objective. Yeah. So basically, if you cross the finish line first, well, you're the fucking winner.
Yeah. So this guy crossed the finish line a second before him. He's the winner. He comes in second. He's third.
It doesn't matter what he was wearing. Doesn't matter how he was running. Doesn't matter stylistically. It's just the fact that he or she got to the finish line first. I think that should be what the Olympics should be about.
That person threw it further. That person jumped the highest. That person jumped the furthest. So on and so forth. Something that says he got this or she got this. They're the winner. Not something that goes, I think this person should have won. I think this person should win. I think this person did it better than this person. They deserve the win and everything like that. All that sort of stuff.
So anything on the horizon for the new year in terms of gaming and, you know, just even like our little crew that we have?
So we were looking out for that Outriders, and I know you said you've looked at videos and you dislike it.
Yeah,
that's why I haven't pre-ordered it or anything. But I'm still on there. But I'm still on there. It could possibly be good. Like, we don't know.
It looks bad.
Destiny's still looking like it's going to be chugging along for a while. It just depends on the next season and everything.
Yeah,
because I'm still gunning for that title. I'm almost there. Like, we're talking like next week or the week after.
See, that's proper end game, right? When you've got something to chase, it's a title, it's a badge kind of thing. Like, you know.
Well, to be honest, I thought it pacing wise, you pretty much fucked yourself.
Yeah. I really wanted to slow down this season, and I still didn't play with my other two characters, the Titan and the Warlock, but I like, even just we played for a few hours this morning, and I finally got my end game 1260 top level that I could possibly get this season. And how many more weeks are there in the season? Maybe there's another 2 months.
It's 41 days.
Oh, that's not that bad then. Like I think I've blown out. Like I mean, there's no point in me playing the other two characters because next season it's like a level playing field again. So yeah, definitely kind of burnt out again. I think I just
Uh,
can't help myself.
yeah, I thought I paced myself so much better because I'm still trying to get to that 1260 because I
Yeah,
might as well. I'm at
yeah.
1257 base at the moment. Might as well just
Oh, there's no
get
doubt
there.
you'll get there too. That's the thing. Like
Um,
there's no doubt you'll get there by end of the season, and then yeah, it works out. I mean, like there's grandmasters now that I can do. Obviously, they're 1300 and 1260s. I mean, I'm 1280 something with the artifact, and I could do them, but then I know that that's how I burnt out last time I played. I was doing grandmasters every week, and it got to a point where I'm like, "Fuck you guys! I'm fucking out of here. I can't stand this anymore." I was just dying so much that I was just like, "This is not.
I'm,
I'm not having fun anymore."
I'm going to take a cue from Hawk. I'm leaving.
So well, that's the thing. Like now that I have that 1260 piece that I was missing, and I got it this morning, I'm just kind of like, fuck. Yeah, I'll hop on to help people out, but it's like,
I'm still fascinated. I'm still gonna because I haven't played or finished Garden of Salvation, and
yeah.
I'm
Right,
actually
you
still
never did garden?
I've been on it a couple times. Remember to get that hidden chest, but that was it.
Ah, you haven't. Yeah. Okay.
I was
Ah, you'll
there.
love it. You'll love it. I mean, I can tell that you. I mean, we talked about this earlier today with Acrux. Like, you love to play games where
It's
it's
primarily
all about
team based.
teamwork. And
That's why I really got into Guns of Icarus Online when it got out.
well, in that case, you and I and the guys should do. I mean, I don't know how many raids are left in Destiny 2 at the moment, but we
So I
should.
know you've got Deepstone Crypt, which I enjoy, but obviously uh, they need to do something with the ads. They need to like make them like maybe Gambit like mobs where they're
Mm,
aggressive.
mm,
I haven't played Last Wish. I'd like to play that, and they've got
yeah.
Garden of Salvation. That's the only three they've got left.
That's crazy. Hey, like we had so many more. But that's cool. Like I haven't done Last Wish either, and apparently it's not easy. So I wouldn't mind trying that in the new year, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, we'll try that as soon as possible, or maybe yeah, we should.
It'd be you, me, Jace, Joker, Agadex, Secrante.
The
That's
class.
already, that's already enough of us to.
That's what we did with what was it? Eater of Worlds, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, that took us a while too. Remember?
That took us quite a few tries just to get it done
Yeah,
because we just didn't have the DPS.
but it does feel good when you
Oh
get
yeah,
that. That's
when we
the
finally
yeah,
got it, yeah,
yeah,
because it was Whisper of the Worm for that. I think that
yeah,
helped me a lot.
yeah.
But
Good mechanics too, and a really good boss. Like really,
yeah,
really super cool
good
boss.
mechanics, but it was like I don't know what you guys were doing because you seem to be really struggling with your bay management. It was just like what the fuck.
Oh
I
man,
was all over it. I'm like, yeah, I've got two in cooking, ready to go, and you
Mm.
guys like, I don't even have one in. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the raid that I've done the most probably. So I don't know what was going on. Sometimes it's just different teams and different players. Like when we were doing Garden with the Unleash Your Light guys, like everyone just had exactly one job and it just made it easy. Like it became farmable, you know. But I think the way we play is we don't have the same group every time. So
Yeah, it's a
I've
struggle.
noticed, yeah, well, I've noticed that even with the latest raid, I've only done it 3 times, but I've never played the same role 3 times. And even that one time that we were playing, I was jumping into 3 different roles per fight within the raid. And I'm like, man, like, how am I ever going to learn if, I don't even get a chance to get good at one
See,
particular role and someone says,
that,
oh no Justin, well, you don't do that, you come upstairs instead, come upstairs and just clear ads or whatever. And it's like, well, you you just need I think and we some tensions were rising as well, and I think that's normal. 100% in raids it's high pressure.
that's why you should sort of take a cue from me when I was just like, I'm doing this. Second
Yeah,
encounter,
yeah, yeah,
I was just like, second encounter, I'm going to be in scanner. First encounter, dark
yeah.
side scanner.
Yeah, but yeah, like it's just like, and then we had Jace was in there apparently for his first time and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, well, it's just a difficult thing. Like you can't you can't carry anybody through a raid, basically.
Definitely not this raid. Because in a few of the encounters you need. Unfortunately, it's not a case of the fact that you can be like, you sit back, because the third encounter you can just go, listen, you ad clear, we've got enough people that we can just keep switching out. But when it comes to the other ones, it's a case of, unfortunately, you can't just sit back. If this becomes a case, you have to do this. And tensions did grow high, and obviously a few of us, myself included, did sort of shout at Jace at one point, where we were just like telling him to like, just go there, do this, just don't just stop. And that's why at the end, I'm not sure if you were there, but I did.
No, I wasn't there.
I was like, hey Jace, by the way, like, I'm sorry for doing that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, in the moment, I understand. Like, it's especially when you've put in so many hours already too. That's the thing. A lot of games you're done in 10, 20, 30 minutes, but with raids, you're probably spending more like a couple of hours. So, I mean, even when we were doing Garden, people were taking 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. So, it's always been one of those things. I think in Destiny 1, we used to take 12 hours. 12 hours to finish a raid. Yeah. So it's like, I get it. I get that the tensions rise, but it's just the way it is. I do like that content is in the game for sure. Like I feel like a lot of people don't get to do that kind of content because they play solo.
Yeah.
And they're really missing out. Like,
see, that was one of the policies I pretty much made myself this season, because I'd say that's one of the biggest reasons I burnt out last season, because eventually I was just basically playing solo, going in, muting everything, and just like, yeah, cool. Yep. So I pretty much just like, if I'm playing solo, I'm not playing fucking solo. I'll just wait for people to come on. I'll play with them. That's always a good time.
Yeah.
And I have started playing more solo now. Like, pretty much each reset, I get the augment, I get the penguin. I pretty much just get that on my own.
Yeah, and because you got something to grind for your own character, to make your character better for the raids as well, right? So actually, yeah, like now that I think about it, you do strive when you have a job where you get to be vocal. Like with Faz, you enjoy it so much probably because you are leading the team.
Leading the charge.
So I think with the raids, I hear you, and like where we could be just doing a hard difficulty strike or something, and you're saying watch out to this person and that's not the same as actually calling out things that people need to do. Or like if you're a scanner or operator, it's like if you're doing a raid, you really do need to have good comms. 100%.
You mean when I'm shouting at like watch your left, watch your back?
Yeah, because you do a bit of that when we're just playing some harder content. But I think with raids, you probably I do now realize that you get excited about like just knowing exactly what to do, and calling things out when you need to. Like I think a few times when someone needs to do something and they're not calling something out is when we have wiped. When someone forgets to call out because they assume somebody else is going to know, and that's not the way raids work, right?
Well, I remember at one point, the last raid we did, I can't remember who it was, but I went, hey, your augment is deactivated. Yeah. And they went, oh, yeah, it is. Thanks.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think it gets to a point as well, people get tired, and, towards the end is when you're going to wipe, I suppose, and you get tired. Thank God that there's save points, though. Like that makes it pretty easy, to be honest. Like, if you didn't have a save point and you had to finish it, that would be pretty savage.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, no, I definitely prefer games that are a lot more vocal. Like as I said, that's why I got into a game called Guns of Icarus Online. It was a 4-player co-op.
Wait, what's it called?
It's called Guns of Icarus Online.
Okay.
It's a steampunk.
I haven't heard of it.
It's a steampunk like PvP game.
Okay.
Like purely, it's got PvP now. It's got PvE now, but it was when it first came out and when I was primarily playing it, it was PvP only. And you play one of 3 roles. You play pilot, an engineer, or a gunner. And it's all about communication. Like I started off as a gunner, and then I went on to being an engineer, and then eventually I was like, do you know what? I'm going to step up and try being a pilot. And I did it and it was all about communication with your fellow captain and with your people, like saying, like, don't do this, check this out, like, because if there was a certain thing, I can't remember what it was called, I think it was like metho or something, that would make your shit go faster, but it would also damage your engines. So what you'd have to do is you just go on the comms and just be like, hey, by the way, to the main engineer on deck, I'm going to be using this, get ready on the engines. He'd be like, yes, no problem, thank you.
Hey, what were the raid like things in the Division? Because they were good too.
There weren't raid. There was a raid in Division 2.
There was that one towards the end. But do you remember there were ones that were really difficult that we used to... Were they legendaries or something? Incursions.
Oh, no, you're thinking of...
the ones with the big mechanics.
You're thinking of the missions that had... Missions did have legendary difficulty because you had Times Square, Warren Gate.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm thinking about the incursions, though. Yeah, the ones where there's that, like, a big boss at the end and there's X amount of mechanics.
Oh, no, you
remember the one where you had to go down and you had to switch levers at the same time? You had to count 3, 2, 1, switch a lever, then run back and then run forward again, and the second set of levers. And there's
I know which one you're thinking of. And
were they called incursions?
I think it was. Yeah, it was called Incursion because I remember that was Falcon Lost or Falcon Down.
That's it.
I played that so many times because you'd have to. You'd stay under the bridge because that's where it was the safest. You just shoot people as it came in, and then when it came to damage phase, you'd go 2 teams and go to the side.
Yep.
Switch the levers. Then someone would plant the bomb, and then you'd all just run back.
See, that was the closest thing to raiding in the Division. You needed comms. Like, you couldn't do that without comms.
Oh yeah. I played that so many times because I think his name was Nix at the time. Pretty much any time I wasn't in a group, or any time I'd start playing, he'd immediately message like, "Hey, what are you doing? Do you want to join us?" I'm like, "What are you doing? Play Falcon Lost?" Okay.
I mean, the first time we finished those things, you'd take screen grabs and stuff because you're just so happy you fucking beat it. But,
I did take a screen grab of us doing of the Irish jig and a lineup.
Yeah. So I mean, there you go. Like, Division had it as well, like that kind of end game play where you needed to have a decent build. And
but the end game originally for Division was the Dark Zone.
Yeah, Division
that was a big risk reward sort of thing, and it still
the best loot was in there.
Yeah, and it still was to up to a point where because it was div tech that you needed, so you'd have to go into the Dark Zone to gather div tech. But nowadays in Division 1, it's all you had to do was dailies and weeklies to get like 25 div tech, 50 div tech, and so on and so forth to mid-max your gear. But I can't remember which DLC it was, but it came to the point of all you need to do was P 93 or something like that. And all you had to do was get to like wave 13, 14 maybe. All you had to do is clear, and you'd always need a reclaimer. So every time you started, you go, who's reclaiming?
Oh, fuck, I remember that one. Yeah, the waves and waves and waves. Yeah. And they had the hunters and stuff at the end, yeah.
Yeah, so because I remember that because it came to the boss phase because reclaimer was like so overpowered when you had like full set reclaimer.
Was, yeah. The big golf patch, we called it. Like, people would put down the fucking golf green.
Yeah, you'd stick it up in like the vents because they couldn't actually shoot it.
Yeah.
And all you do is the enemies would come up to you, or the bosses would come up to you like shooting the shit out, and you're just like not losing any health. You're like, yeah, keep shooting me. And they start hitting you, and you just be like, cool. And you'd only get annoyed at them because you're like, damn it, you knocked me out of cover. And then you get back into cover and you start shooting at all the enemies. Yeah. Then when it came to like 10 seconds, everyone would just be like, forget enemies, just kill the boss.
Even that game, man, like even like being able to shoot car tires and glass on the car window. I mean, a lot of that is missing from Cyberpunk 2, which is, kind of sad.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. The whole, if it started blizzarding or something, or you stand out in the snow, it actually starts to build up on your thing. You'd leave footprints, you'd leave things.
Almost everything was damageable. You could write your name on the wall. Yeah. Like I kind of like that. I kind of think Cyberpunk's missing out on a lot of things that other games have already been doing for quite some time. So But anyway, I reckon we should wrap that up. I mean, it was just a little chat about games that we sort of have played and games that we bought that we didn't quite play. And
so games that we played, games that we finished, games that we quit, games that are we're still in progression of playing them, like Destiny.
yeah, I think Destiny 2 is probably going to continue on for us into the new year. And for me, Cyberpunk, if they redeem themselves and release a DLC, I'm pretty sure I'll be downloading it, and I'm pretty sure it'll be free as well. So why not?
I'll see one day with a patch. I definitely want to play We Were Here with someone because that looks really cool. That's a game which is heavy communication and puzzle
What about
solving.
that other game that you got? There's like two brothers breaking out of prison or something.
Oh, A Way Out.
A Way Out, yeah.
They're not brothers. They're just two blokes.
Two mates, yeah. I played that with a mate of mine for like the first couple of missions, but then we never continued.
I thought you did play it and you were just like, I don't like this.
Yeah, it was a little bit cutesy.
But at the moment, I'm like, for some reason, I just want to play like PvE survival game. Like, I don't necessarily mind PvP, but after playing like the Rust and everything, it just became like every time I won't actually have that much fun playing it as much as I'd just get really annoyed because you'd farm for something and then you'd be like, awesome, I'm coming back. Oh, I just got killed by some dude who just ran up to me and is now stealing. Cool.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
And you could obviously say, yeah, but that's like the really good part of it. That's the other element to survival, like everything. I'm like, not really. I'm just like, it just gets annoying because someone could,
trolly. Yeah.
Because someone could basically with like high gear just decide, you're now my target. I'm just going to track you.
Totally. I can see how some people would like that, and I don't know. I've tried like a few. I tried The Long Dark, and I tried a few other survival games, and like. I literally just starved and died and then stopped playing because I just couldn't even get past 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. PvE co-op is to me the way to go.
I think co-op would be cool. Yeah, because then you could like split up and hunt for food and whatever it'd be. You could actually, your mate could save your ass sometimes.
Yeah,
so
and I think cool. And as I've said in the previous episodes, sometimes some of the most boring games can be made so much funnier just because your friends there, because you're just ripping on each other or talking about something while you're doing something.
Yeah, totally. There was another hunting game, wasn't it? Like you just hunt animals. I forget what it's called now.
There's just like The Hunt.
Something like that. Yeah.
And there's like Ark. So on and
Ark.
so forth.
Oh god, yeah. I'm so glad I didn't give that a go. It looks like a mess.
Well, I know that they're bringing out a second one of Vin Diesel's in it.
Did you play No Man's Sky?
No.
Because apparently that's sort of got survival elements in it.
Yeah, but I think it's only single player though.
I thought it's not anymore, but
I'm not sure. I haven't, because since I played like Star Citizen, it's just
true.
Forget
Star
No Man's
Citizen's
Sky.
graphics is more realistic rather than cartoony, so way cooler in my opinion. I don't like cartoony stuff.
And if I were to play something, I'd maybe Space Engineers.
Oh, I think I've heard of that. Yeah,
that's the survivalish game.
All right, well, let's wrap it up. I hope everyone has a good year. I mean, we haven't made a Geeked Out video for a while, but hey, we did one before the end of the year, so I'm happy with that.
It counts.
It does. And I'll probably edit this video and put it up tonight. So Hawk, congrats, and it's been good even just giving these podcasts a go. It's would have been cooler to have more of us do them at the same time, because I think when we had Joker on that once, it was pretty hilarious.
Oh, we've had Joker on a couple of times.
Yeah.
Originally, obviously, we envisioned that'd be the OG of our server, me, you, Jace.
Yeah, Jace. Yep.
But obviously, Jace didn't really get into it as much as we did.
That we did with Lockie was really good too.
Yeah, that was really good because that was another one we did with Joker. And yeah, I definitely would like Joker to be on every so often or like become permanent.
Yeah.
It just, I guess it's just us two can more likely find the time, but it's not a jab at him. It's just
Yeah, well, we'll see. No solid plans going forward, but I don't think this will be our last Geeked Out. I mean, last for the year, but let's see what happens in the new year. Yeah. All right. Well, you want to see us out?
All right, peoples of the internet, we've been geeked out for the last episode of 2020. I hope you've all had a happy Christmas, a happy holiday, or whatever it is that you in particular worship at this time of year. And I hope you all have a happy new year, and I hope 2021 doesn't suck like 2020 did. Nipples out.
Nipples out.